section of the law has been abused by government employees, not by all of them, but by some of them. And our job is to find out who they are. And all I want to get from you, Mr. Miller, and you, Mr. George, that is your integrity that's on the line. It's the president's, it's the administration's, it is the IRS employees that work hard each and every day. And unfortunately, it's the Congress that's involved in this. People are losing confidence in our government, and I hope that you feel the same sense to find out what caused this, how it could happen, and help us to restore the confidence that Americans should have in their government.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is my good friend Congressman Charlie Rangel. Thank you, Congressman. How are you? That's one of the
It's been a long time.
And that's one of the reasons you should be chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. But that's another story.
It ain't over till it's over.
Well, look, anything you would add to what we just heard?
Yes, I would, and it just doesn't relate to this attack on Obama. It relates an attack on the American gender, the economy, the need for jobs, education, affordable housing, and especially at this time of crisis, health care. Too many Americans are just spectators, and they don't participate. As I go around the country and hear the frustration of people, I ask one question. How many of you know the name of your representative? And it's amazing the indifference that people have to participating. And I submit, if churches and synagogues and business people who are making more money now than ever in the history of the Republic were to get on the case of Democrats and Republicans and tell them, move the agenda, they would move.
This IRS, is that also what you would call a distraction? That this is pretty much, well, I don't want to say that's all it is, because really was not the Ways and Means Committee responsible for auditing what happened?
Well, yes, we didn't get the response that we should have gotten from IRS. A handful of people in Cincinnati took the law of interpreting the law in their own hands, and there is no question that people should not have attempted to identify the ideology of the group. Mm-hmm. However, any law which says that primarily you're supposed to do good, but if you want to do politics, you can, where do you draw the line? Legally, you can draw it at 49% of participation, where people are abusing the law by avoiding acknowledging who's making the contribution and the amount of the contribution. All of this started when the Supreme Court removed restrictions on how much people could contribute to political campaigns.
And you have Mitch McConnell and on the Senate side, Senator Rand Paul on the Senate side. Interesting, both Republicans, and I think the chairman of your committee, who somehow wants to suggest that this is a culture of intimidation throughout the administration. That seems to be the talking point. Your response to that?
Well, you have to recognize this all started under Commissioner Schulman that was appointed by George Bush. And the truth of the matter is that the Republicans have no agenda at all. They have no initiatives at all. They are there to embarrass the President of the United States, and what is so painful politically about this, they don't mind taking the country down with them. I mean, they've done this with the debt ceiling, which is another subject, but they refuse to invest in the infrastructure, to move the jobs programs, education, research, and development. They are stuck dead on just attacking the president and anything that comes out of the White House.
And so let's go back to what you said. If you don't know the name of your congressman, the name of your senator, and then here's what I find on my show a lot. People always point the finger, especially this audience, the Congressional Black Caucus is not doing enough. The Democratic Party is not doing enough. You would submit, I suspect, that they simply don't know how Congress works.
Well, our voices are heard, but I tell you this, I'm not as religious as I want to be.
All right.
But if indeed We are fighting for health care. We're fighting for shelter. We're fighting to keep people that shouldn't be in jail from having to go to jail. We're fighting against poverty. Oh, this is Matthews. I don't hear from the priests, the ministers, the rabbis. I mean, taking care of the vulnerable, the aged, the kids, and health care. This isn't a Democratic Black Caucus problem. This is what America stands for. And so, yes, our voices are sometimes drowned out because we're not in the majority. But whether you win or lose, the thing is, are you fighting for what you believe in? So you can point the finger, but there's just one question, and what are you doing about it?
Well, gee, you must listen to my show every now and then. That's exactly the question that I asked every day. So what are you going to do about it?
And whether you win, of course, everyone wants to win it when the principles are just moral and just, and we're talking about the economic as well as the national security of the United States. Of course, we want a better future for our kids than the ones that we have. And, of course, we want to be able to make certain that everyone has a job that gets paid with dignity and able to pursue this happiness that they talk about in the Constitution. But the truth of the matter is that even if you don't achieve that goal, the fact that you struggle to accomplish that is enough to get by and to tell your kids, hey, the fight continues. We didn't get where we are today with our forefathers and those people who died in the Civil Rights Movement. They didn't say something is going to happen in the by and by. We enjoy a better quality of life than anybody in the world, not because someone gave it to us, but because people fought against slavery, fought against prejudice, bias, and hey, we owe it to them and owe it to our kids to be able to say the struggle continues.
And final point I wanted to raise, as it relates to the hearings Friday, what will happen or what should happen at the next hearings? Will the employees of the IRS down there in Cincinnati be called? What's the next step? Who do you talk to? Who do you question for the next round?
Well, they keep talking about the need to continue the investigation. Someone made these decisions, and they haven't put a name or a face on these people yet. Mm-hmm. But the truth of the matter is, someone made the decision. I don't think it was a criminal decision. I don't even think it was a negligence decision. Really? It was a dumb decision because they were overwhelmed at work, and they said, how can we identify these organizations without long investigations? And there were buzzwords, and they shouldn't have been, because a buzzword that's good for the Democrats today may be bad for the Democrats tomorrow.
So it's like accountants tell us, certain words or certain things will flag an IRS audit.
Exactly.
And if you've got
you and I don't like this flagging idea at all.
Well, you're right about that. You're 100%. Well, we'll stay in touch. I really appreciate it.
I hope so, Joe. You're terrific. Say hi to your beautiful wife.
I will. Thank you, Congressman.